1985, cooler, classier, comelier C-cars. How does GM get you to trade a big car for a smaller one? Make it slicker, plusher, quieter, lighter, finer, and faster. In 1977, GM introduced its first downsize models, the B and C body full-size cars. Since then, GM downsized every car in its vast lineup, except the Chevette. We started hearing rumors about exotic 84 Buick Electra, Olds 98, and Cadillac Deville C cars when the C body was updated in 1980, while the 77 to 83 C cars were just an optimization of an iron frame live rear axle design that had been GM's specialty for decades. The new C car is a radical departure. With the same 72-inch width and 200-inch length as the G-body intermediates, the 84.5 C cars use a 115.8-inch wheelbase unit body that has nearly the same interior room as the 4-inch wider, 21-inch longer C car it replaces. All C cars use 14-inch wheels or optional 15-inch aluminum wheels with low-profile tires. Combined with a lower floor pan, height decreases 3 inches without reducing headroom, though 5 cubic feet smaller. The trunk is more usable with a compact spare stored upright. Curb weight is cut 470 pounds with aluminum suspension parts, brake drums, and radiator combined with the lighter, smaller unit body and a new polyurethane 2-mile-per-hour rated bumper cushion instead of steel leaf springs. Engine displacement decreases 71 to 152 cubic inches, boosting EPA ratings up to 22%. The independent rear suspension uses McPherson struts and trailing arms, plus standard load-leveling shocks. Rack and pinion steering replaces the 30-year-old recirculating ball type. The new C-Car factory uses laser-guided robots that build the best GM cars ever. All C cars get big quality improvements like a flush-mounted windshield and rear window, precision-hung doors that don't require shimming, electrostatic bonded primer, and 2 coats of base coat clear coat paint. New construction adhesives replace bolts to eliminate rattles. The front-drive Toronado and Eldorado 4-speed overdrive turbo-hydromatic 325 is reconfigured for rear-drive use and renamed turbo-hydromatic 440. The transaxle mounts behind the rear seat, eliminating the transmission floor hump. It grants ideal 50-50 weight distribution for great traction and handling. A 2.3-to-1 torque converter with a lock-up clutch mounts to the engine in front. The chain drive from the turbo-hydromatic 325 mounts to the torque converter, but with a reduction ratio of 1.25, 1.3, 1.35, 1.4, or 1.5 to 1. This reduces drive shaft speed and vibration and lowers the drive shaft so the floor hump is smaller. The transaxle itself has a 219 to 1 axle ratio, so effective 273, 284, 297, 306, or 329 to 1 drive ratios replace the previous 241, 256, 273, and 308 to 1 axle ratios. The 8% smaller diameter tires increase the effective axle ratio as well. The 40% greater overall torque multiplication combined with 12% lower curb weight grants far snappier 0 to 40 mile/hour acceleration. Olds 98 has long been called the thinking man's Cadillac, and for the first time, Olds shares its wheelbase with Cadillac and is even 1 inch longer. The $14,665 Olds Regency gets a standard vinyl roof on the coupe, B-pillar opera lamps, tungsten halogen headlamps, carpeted trunk trim, power door locks, and white striped tires that are optional on the cheaper and more European Buick Electra. Olds 98 is styled most like a traditional American luxury car, and it offers no sporting model. It has an uncanny resemblance to the front-drive junior intermediate Cutlass Sierra, but Olds has long styled intermediates simply as scaled-down large cars. Only Olds 98 C-Body offers the choice of a V6 or V8. You get a 112 horsepower 2-barrel 3000cc V6 with a responsive 329:1 drive ratio on the base Regency. The $15,864 98 Brougham gets the new port fuel-injected 140 horsepower 3800 V6 with a 297 drive ratio. Both 98 models offer a 160 horsepower 4300 V8 with a 273 drive ratio as an option. Olds' Iron V8 has the same port fuel injection as Cadillac's aluminum 4500 V8, but it employs a 0.31-inch shorter 3-inch stroke and a milder 8.5:1 compression ratio. A big 25% reduction in aero drag gives it the same 120 mile/hour top speed as the 220 horsepower 6600cc 4-barrel V8 optional last year. Yet the 19 mile/gallon city, 30 mile/gallon highway EPA rating is 11% higher than 83's standard 140 horsepower 5050cc V8. Suspension comes in basic, sporty, or level 3, which gets 15-inch aluminum wheels with speed-rated Eagle GT tires. All C cars have tighter door frame seals, smaller body seams, better floor insulation, firewall sealing, and a fiberglass headliner pad to make them the quietest GM cars ever. Traditional 6-passenger seating was baked in from the start. Despite the 98's 4-inch width reduction, shoulder room is only reduced a ½ inch, and hip room is only 1 inch less in front, 1.7 inches less in back. Likewise, the tread width is only 1.4 inch less in front, 1 inch less in back. It has 40.8 inches of rear legroom, only 1 inch less than the old 119-inch wheelbase car. GM did it by decreasing door width and side window angle tumble home, and by pushing the engine and firewall 4 inches forward. The rear seat moves 1.5 inches forward to allow mounting of the transaxle behind it. Ironically, bucket seats, once optional in the late 60s, come back on the Olds 98. The small hump in the front floor notwithstanding. Individual reclining seats have leather inserts and pigskin trim, plus a center console. All C cars get a 6-way power driver's seat, plus a new side window defogger and trip meter standard. Though the 98 is exotic underneath with its rear transaxle and independent suspension, within it has a prosaic column shifter, big sweep speedometer, and vinyl wood grain trim. Olds' dual-plane instrument panel is typical of the setup in the Deville and Electra. Impressive new interior options include cruise control with a new acceleration button that allows you to bump up speed in 1 mile/hour increments, and a heated outside rearview mirror that works with the rear window defogger. Olds even offers human-voiced reminders instead of standard soft chimes. Electronic engine controls offer a vast amount of information. Olds and Cadillac offer a 19-function trip computer in the dashboard with displays for engine heat and oil pressure that you can punch in. A sophisticated new Bose Symphony sound system was designed into the C car. It is the top version of the new digital 2000 series ETR electronically tuned AM/FM stereo radio that's standard on all C cars. Like Buick's Park Avenue, the 98 Brougham includes pulse delay windshield wipers, tilt steering column, and rear reading lamps. It has standard electronic touch climate control and wire wheel covers that are optional on Park Avenue. By September, C cars will offer a digital instrument panel and new 4-wheel anti-lock braking system. It allows panic braking while steering away from trouble. Aspiring private eyes in the mold of Frank Cannon or Mannix should know that a dealer-installed cellular phone will be available for phoning on the fly. GM says the C cars were built for those who want the latest technology and that it eclipses the competition from Europe. Buick's $15,000 Electra T-Type is the most European-influenced C car. It gets a muscular 4150cc Big 6 that bats out the same 160 horsepower at 4,400 RPM and 225 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400 RPM as the Olds 4300 V8. But T-Type is actually quicker to 60 miles per hour thanks to its 297 drive ratio. New C cars all have 12mm rear anti-sway bars, but the T-Type has an 18mm sway bar, bigger shocks, firmer springs, a 17.6 to 1 steering ratio replacing the 19.4 to 1 unit, and P215 65R15 speed-rated Eagle GT tires. It gets black accents around the grille and window frames and dark gray taillight trim in the Teutonic manner. The $13,850 Electra 300 with the 2-barrel 3000 V6 is the cheapest C-body, but it has a standard rear window defroster that's actually optional on the Deville. Electra 380 gets the 3800 V6 that makes 140 horsepower at 44 RPM with an 8.5 to 1 compression ratio. It makes 200 foot-pounds of torque at just 2,000 RPM. Its 20 mile per gallon city EPA rating is actually 2 miles per gallon higher than the 3000 V6. The 3800 is standard on the $15,750 Park Avenue, and the 4150 Big V6 is optional. Bosch computerized fuel injection with a new mass airflow sensor allows smog plumbing to be deleted for a clean-looking engine. When the C-body was conceived, GM assumed V8s would be much rarer and smaller. If 4 liters is big for Mercedes, it should be big for GM too. So though 140 horsepower 4-barrel 4150 V6 with spark feedback ignition and a 9.25 to 1 compression ratio was the smallest 83 Electra engine, the port fuel-injected 4150 V6 is now the biggest. Buick's Big 6 has long bragged of V8-like power and now exceeds many 5-liter V8s. Port fuel injection, a 2.5-inch exhaust pipe, and new dual electric fans in place of a belt-driven fan transform the workhorse into a thoroughbred. The electric fans account for half of the 20 horsepower increase. Last year, the high-compression 4-barrel Big 6 was verboten in California, but the new fuel-injected 4150 can now be sold there. The precise metering of fuel injection and computer-managed combustion reduces oxides of nitrogen produced by higher compression ratios. California cars needn't use the power-sapping smog pump, so the Big 6's 20 mile per gallon city, 31 mile per gallon highway EPA estimate is no lower than the so-called 49 state models. Inside the T-Type, there's 45/45 big bucket seats with greater lateral support, a clever center console that stores cassette tapes, stainless steel instrument panel trim, and a leather-wrapped steering wheel. Ergonomic rockers and thumb wheels replace the dome light and headlamp pull knob. Power window buttons are concave for down, convex for up. Park Avenue includes cruise control and power passenger side mirror that are optional on Olds 98 Brougham. Like all C cars, it has drop-in license plates requiring no bolts. Buick tail lamp bulbs can easily be changed by hand. The high mount center brake light is optional this year. The new Cadillac measures only 200 inches long. As the Cadillac of tomorrow, Deville's $4,000 premium over the Olds 98 Regency gets you a power retracting antenna, lamp bulb monitor, electronic climate control, fuel economy computer, digital fuel gauge, and a body computer module that retains accessory power for 10 minutes after the key is turned off. It also protects the AC compressor if it runs low on refrigerant and assists in the plug-in diagnostic feature that's exclusive to the new high-tech HT 4500cc V8. But you must still order basics like cruise control and a tilt telescope steering column. The Fleetwood model gets seat-back recliners, luminescent opera lamps, pinstriping, power trunk release, passenger power rear view mirror, passenger power seat, wire wheel covers, rear reading lamps, leather-wrapped steering wheel, American walnut door and instrument panel trim, and a half vinyl roof. Downsized Deville costs almost $1,000 more than last year at $18,600, but only Cadillac retains a standard C-Car V8. The new HT 4500 is a 273 cubic inch version of the corporate GM block, which usually uses a 3.80 inch bore. CAD employs a 3.625 inch bore, which is necessitated by the use of iron cylinder liners in its unique aluminum block. Olds' 4300 iron block version weighs 460 pounds, but the Cadillac 4500 is only 360 pounds, less than the iron Buick V6. The 4500 makes 170 horsepower on regular gas, thanks to electronic spark control and a 9-to-1 compression ratio. EPA rates it only 1 mile per gallon less than the Olds 4300 V8, even though it uses a more aggressive 297-to-1 drive ratio. Like Buick's 4150 V6, it is 50-state emissions legal. It mates to Cadillac's viscous lockup torque converter that's smoother than the Olds and Buick's locking clutch torque converter. For the first time since the 1950s, Cadillac is faster than the other GM big cars. Cadillac's new sport sedans now sell on performance. Even sedans have a coupe-like profile with a short rear overhang and long hood. The Cadillac Touring Edition, or CTE, gets 15-inch wheels, speed-rated Eagle GT tires, an 18.4-to-1 steering ratio, stiffer suspension, fog lamps, and leather 45/45 big bucket seats. The CTE gets the PEP, or Performance Enhancement Package. It gets a 329-to-1 drive ratio, a high RPM shifting transmission, and a high stall speed 2.5-to-1 ratio torque converter. The CTE uses a larger 2.5-inch exhaust pipe instead of 2.25 inches, so it's the first burbling CAD exhaust since duals died in 1975. The PEP 4500 has the highest C-Car compression ratio of 9.5-to-1, so it needs premium unleaded gas to bat out 180 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and 245 foot-pounds of torque at 2,500 RPM. With a 0.39 drag coefficient, the CTE claims a scorching 127 mile/hour top end. GM's G-body muscle cars like the turbo V6 Buick Regal have the same tires and about the same power and curb weight as the CTE, but still use recirculating ball steering and live rear axles. The basic 85 Deville starts out as a far more exotic specimen than the G-body hot rods. Its rear transaxle puts 52% of the weight on the back wheels, increasing the tire adhesion limit and decreasing front wheel plow or understeer. The car is naturally more willing to alter direction, so the rear suspension needn't be as stiff. Combine that with the lower unsprung weight of the independent rear suspension, and you get more supple and stable high-speed cornering, especially over uneven and broken pavement. Fleetwood 60 is the ace up CAD's sleeve for the bigger is better buyer. All Cadillac C-Cars have unique door frames that wrap into the roof and don't require drip rails. The C-Special Fleetwood 60 gets a 120.8-inch wheelbase, stretches 205 inches in length, and offers 43.8 inches of rear legroom for a tidy $9,000 sum over the basic Deville. It has 2.5 inches more rear legroom than the old-fashioned 121.5-inch wheelbase Fleetwood Brougham that you can still buy. The Fleetwood 60 adds a unique stainless steel exhaust, illuminated entry, automatic dimming mirror, a memory power seat, twilight sentinel and dimming sentinel, rear footrests, and an overhead vanity console. But Fleetwood 60 customers get a $30,000 car that is 9 inches shorter than a humble $10,000 Chevrolet Impala. The C-Body was originally slated to debut a year ago, but work on Cadillac's long wheelbase models and aluminum 4500 V8 delayed them until now. Ironically, President Carter's delay of corporate fuel economy increases meant CAD could retain the old-school Fleetwood Brougham with its easy-to-stretch iron frame chassis. The 139.4-inch wheelbase Fleetwood 75 limousine is only 223.6 inches long, just 2.5 inches longer than the Fleetwood Brougham. It includes power rear door unlatching buttons, a rear climate control panel, and auxiliary middle folding seats. The Fleetwood 75 formal model includes a driver partition with sliding glass, electronic climate control, 45/45 front bucket seats with center console, rear reading lamps, delay wipers, and a tilt telescope steering wheel column. You can opt for a factory-installed removable cellular phone set that stores in the locking front armrest compartment. There is also a cassette tape player with a rear seat control panel. Summing up, hokey details like wire wheel covers, velour seats, vinyl-coated roofs, and the throwback 1960s door handles are meant to reassure the traditional buyer that this is the big GM car he is used to. Don't believe it. This is a sea change for GM. Engineering sophistication, quality, quiet, luxury features, handling, and performance now exceed the pricey European makes. Don't shop with the tape measure, and don't knock them till you've tried them.